Good afternoon, all. Today we have Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh, Director of Vishweshwani Institute of Systems and Management, Hyderabad. Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh is a doctorate in business management from Osmania University, Hyderabad, and holds a triple master's degree in the area of political science, management, and psychology. He is an Indian Air Force veteran with 3 decades of industry and teaching experience. He's a qualified management teacher, trainer at IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Kozhikode, and IIT Bombay in the areas of management, teaching, and research. He's a certified case instructor from Hardware Publishers and IIM Ahmedabad. Dr. Bharat is a passionate trainer, speaker, author, and coach. He has taught in various colleges in India and published research papers in journal like various national and international journals. He is also an editorial board of many management journals in India. Being a professor of marketing and strategy, Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh is currently working as a director of Vishweshwani Institute of Systems and Management. And Dr. Bharat mainly believes in we all are born to face the challenges, and we all are born to do the tough jobs and expect the challenges. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Rohit.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, sir. Welcome to College Dunia.
Thank you. It's pleasure.
So, sir, going into the interview, we'll be starting with our first question. Sir, actually, you have held many key positions in education institutes throughout your professional career. So, what are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector, actually, sir?
Well, it's a question which everyone asks because many of my Air Force veterans are working in industries and they feel jealous of me being in academia. But to start with, education sector is really the source of talent for every sphere of our economy. We produce graduates who get absorbed in almost all sectors of economy, and shaping them for the future is the biggest satisfaction which I derive. And you all know India is poised for a big leap forward, and with our Prime Minister Modi's 5 trillion economic goal, it is the youth who are going to make it realize for the country. And then engaging with them, sharing knowledge and experience with them, and then learning new methods, new technology from these youngsters are really very satisfying. The study and research which are carried out at our campuses to validate various theories and conjectures are the real kick which I enjoy being in this sector. And we are living in a very dynamic and disruptive world. COVID-19 point in mention, and it is the youth who are in the center of all these development and happenings. So being with them and collaborating, learning together develops me and helps me remain really relevant in this fast-paced teaching and learning environment. So that is what is the real interest I derive out of this particular sector.
Okay, so very great to hear that, sir. So moving on to the next question in our interview, sir. Being the director of Vishweshwani Institute of Systems and Management, so what is your philosophy of leadership, sir? Like, how do you describe your leadership style, actually?
See, India is a democratic country, and then we are also part of the society and system. So therefore, we cannot be authoritarian and we cannot be autocratic. So I am also a true democrat as a leader. So I'm an inclusive leader, basically. I believe a consultative process improves quality of decisions as number of alternatives generated and vetted in the process helps in choosing the best alternatives. And further, hearing your subordinates and making them part of the decision-making process empowers and motivates them as well, and they give their best. And especially in this VUCA, that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, we need more collaboration and cooperation and learning from each other and then doing things together. This will be relevant in today's environment, and it is more than I and you, it should be we that matters the most today. And I believe in the philosophy of we rather than I. I also believe that motivation and positivism encourages people to achieve extraordinary results. And therefore, instead of being critical on the subordinates and juniors, leaders should be more encouraging and supporting. Further, I believe what is measured is managed well, and therefore it is important that we measure performances objectively and ensure we remain focused on our task and goals. So therefore, it's all about working together, learning from each other, supporting each other, without compromising on the highest target or the focus in mind. And that is how every day we achieve and move towards our target. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very good describing of your leadership styles. So it's a very practical thing we need to follow. So moving on to the next question, sir. Like we all know, the education system which is existing in India and other foreign countries are structured very differently. So, in your experience, what can an inborn student gain from studying in your institute, sir?
Yeah. So Vishwani is a very unique business school in South India. It has its focus on students and their development. The institute emphasis is on making learners the center of all the academic planning and executions. That helps in achieving a rich and vibrant learning environment. So the institute believes that learning must be action-based, experiential, practical, and the choice of teaching methodologies, tools, and techniques have all been designed keeping the learner's interest in mind. At our institute, a majority of learnings are planned out of the classrooms using cases and outbound activities and business simulation games in our business simulation labs. And also we have initiated in 2019 a very unique program. We call it as Students Engagement for Exposure and Development. And we have coined an acronym called SEED program, where clusters of departments, they take the responsibility of all the outbound activities and learning programs which are initiated at our base school. And the graduates are designed by Vishwani to perform those tasks and assimilates whatever is the theoretical groundings which they are getting into the classroom by having the physical exposure in the industry. And the students find a diverse and rich environment by engaging, and then they get exposures both from the academia and industry. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, getting more into the Vishwani, so we just wanted to know, like, how does the curriculum of Vishwani include the best practice of the industry who are studying over there?
Well, curriculum, since we are a business school, the curriculum at Vishwani is very dynamic in nature. The academic board reviews the course curriculum every year, keeping the latest developments, industry trends, and research findings in mind. So curriculum is updated regularly, new courses are added, and new electives are offered to students to prepare the industry-ready graduates who are able to demonstrate the skills needed in the study. For example, I'll try to refer over here. Like of late, we are seeing that a lot of graduates are required in pharma industry because the pharma industry is going abroad, and the international marketing professionals and strategy professionals are required a lot. So we have added pharma management as one of the elective in our PGDM program. Similarly, thanks to Atmanirbhar Bharat, and a lot of push on the agriculture sector, and then recent amendment in the agricultural bill, we are going to see a lot of agriculture marketing and agriculture business management professionals going to be required for the industry. So we have added agri-business management program as an elective since 2018. So that is how we work. The institute has organized its functions, taking cue from the corporate organizations. All activities, programs, and plans are owned, designed, and executed by the students, and making them learn as they do. Failing is allowed as students are put to the management laboratory where they conduct their learning experiments and graduate as industry-ready professionals. So at our institute, we are taking a back seat. We let the students do every activities when they are in the campus, right from the planning and execution, and then reviews of how good or bad they have done. So what are those activities they actually perform being in the campus? Like, for example, the pace of learning they decide, the methodology which suits them well, they decide. all the functions which are held in the campuses, they plan, organize, and execute. Various committee they head, and student welfare committee, students council membership, and any outbound activities, they right from the scratch, they design all those aspects. So ultimately when they graduate, they are really well groomed to be a corporate professional who can deliver right from the day one in the industry. So that is how Vishwa has positioned itself very differently vis-a-vis other management colleges. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, could you say for our audience about like any insights into how your institute could be more welcoming to the students of belonging to different races or different economic backgrounds?
Yeah, it's a very good question, because India is a very diverse country, and therefore people coming from different regions, race, religion, or economic background do feel threatened when they enter into a very strange environment. So Vishwa provides a diverse learning environment. Students come from more than 18 states in India with different economic background, religion, and culture. And it's a shade of Vishwa campus actually, wherein we host a very diverse crowd as a learners. The cultural committee at campuses celebrates all the festivals and organizes various cultural activities to make the campus more inclusive and welcoming for the students from all the region, religion, culture, and economic background. And the campus has a unique prayer room. You will be very interested to know this. We have a unique prayer room which accommodates more than 100 students who can engage in various activities in sync with their religion, culture, or faith. So while Hindus practice yoga, Christians do their prayers, and Muslim congregates on Friday for their Friday prayer, a truly melting place for all actually. And the institute believes that diversity is the strength of India, and the idea of India as a great nation lies in its plurality and diversity. Institute also provides scholarship for economically poor students to facilitate them move ahead in life and achieve their dreams. So every batch you will find certain percentage of students are sponsored. In certain cases, even 100% of their tuition fee is sponsored by the management. So that's how we make our classroom more diverse, more plural, and that makes it's a very unique place which welcomes everyone in this campus. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very like insightful information for our audience. So going to the next question, like it's something regarding like the scope of the Vishwa for the coming year. So like as a director of Vishwa, so what do you think should be the institute's top priority over the coming years?
Yeah, it's a question which is haunting everyone, and thanks to COVID and then disruption of a very severe magnitude. So I feel the top priority of institute should be to keep pace with the changes in the environment and the technological landscape. Like for example, we are seeing how the shifting has happened from classrooms to online teaching. So this was something which no one heard of, but suddenly it has come to us, and now we are actually figuring out how to manage that. And this disruption is the new reality, and institute must align itself to address this disruption with a template which can accommodate these changes and strategize real time. Actually, as things unfold, the institution should be able to overcome those challenges and then go on without any disturbances. Institute will have to develop a flexible and agile system to respond to such changes and remain relevant at all times. Like for example, this COVID-19 was a disruption which tested the bandwidth of many institutes, including ours, and our seamless migration to online operation, be it academic, examination, or placements, has given the required confidence to all of us, and we feel that Vishwa would be one of the few institutions in India which will be adopting these new realities and leading the industry from the front. And apart from that, I would also like to mention over here that the learners are a new breed. They're also changing thanks to technology and new way of doing things. So therefore, the campuses and the institutions must get the insight of what learners actually understand learning. Like it is no more like how I can teach. It is more important that how the learners learn. And then I have to modify my learnings based on their interest and the methodology of learning. So basically cracking the black box of students and understanding what connects them well, and then designing our methodologies and pedagogies accordingly will be something which the institutions and in particular Visva Vishwani has to think in the next 10 years. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's a very good insight for the about Visva Vishwani, sir. So going on to the next question, sir. So what do you see as Visva Vishwani's greatest strengths actually?
Excellent. The greatest strength of Visva Vishwani is its management and academic leadership. While management feels that we are in the business of shaping life, the academic leadership believes that they are crafting leaders for tomorrow. The holistic approach of management and the rigor of academic team makes our graduates the most sought after resource by multinational corporations and other recruiters in India. The interest shown by the recruiters in visiting our campus for campus hiring is the testament to our core strength. The institutions believes in giving the best to the students, be it subscribing cases from IIM Ahmedabad Case Center to developing a state-of-the-art business simulation lab to provide them real-time decision-making skills, and then training them on communications and languages using the best software and developing a language lab in the system, training them on aptitude and others requirements when they go for their placements in their third semester. So these are some of the things which the institution is very passionate about it, and the difference is visible on the ground. So like this year we had close to 58 companies visiting our campus. And we were able to place 100% of our batch with the highest package of somewhere around 7 lakhs. So this is something which gives us a lot of satisfaction. So this is what put Visva Vishwani a little different comparing other management colleges. And it is all done to prepare students as a professional and a great human being. So we have a little human touch as well, because ultimately we are not producing an automated robot who will go in corporate industry and start doing things on command. So they need to be responsible, they need to be emotional, they need to be a human being who understands the social norms, culture, customs, and then behave as a responsible human being. So a very holistic approach indeed. Yeah.
Okay. So sir, next question is, how do you tend to establish a healthy relation and environment in your institute, sir? Actually, being a director of Visva Vishwani. So how
So wonderful, good. So let me tell you, any campus is an entity, and it derives its entity tag out of the collectivism of the people who participate in the activities, right? So a campus is a campus because we have faculties, we have students, we have staff, we have attenders, we have security. All those things put together makes a campus a campus. Otherwise, you minus them all, and then a brick and mortar does not make any life out of any campus. So I truly believe that engagement is the key to building healthy environment. Be it faculties, staff, or students, all need to engage, focus, and contribute in making teaching learning enjoyable in campus. So whereas activities, academic programs, management and cultural fest, conferences and seminars provides opportunities for all to work as a team and become a unit with stated objectives to achieve. So that brings a lot of energy in the entire process. We all work together to deliver the best results for all the tasks and activities performed. Like, for example, few of the activities we do at our campus to make it more healthy and environment positively and positive environment is like we organize luncheon with our serve staffs, attenders, and security people. And it's a great day actually in the campus. We also organize potlucks with our faculties and staff, wherein we share some healthy movement and some funny moments. And that's also a team building exercises. We celebrate Teachers' Day, Students' Day, and cultural days. So these are some of the activities which are fixed in our academic calendar, and it helps in establishing a healthy relation with all the stakeholders among all and build a very positive environment at campus. In fact, the campus budges with a lot of energy because of everyone is doing some of the other things and they are engaged towards achieving whatever is their plans. So that's how I ensure a healthy relation and a positive environment in my campus. Yeah,
that's a very good answer, sir. So actually, we just wanted to have can you give any suggestions to the current youth and the aspiring students from your side?
Yeah, suggestions are many. This generation is a very unique generation. In fact, we are digital immigrants, they are digital natives, so there is a great divide exists. They understand things, we have never seen those things. So I feel it will be very naive to put suggestions. However, I have few points because I have seen the world. I have traveled across and touched many lives. So I feel if little bit of tweak the generation, this younger generations can bring into their life, they can be really great professionals in future. So few of the suggestions, like I have many, but I would focus mainly on three suggestions or the three areas. The first is today's youth have what it all requires to succeed. Money is available, opportunities are plenty, resources on tip of the hand. So therefore, performing is their job, right? So, and they will have no excuse in future to make. Hence, I always remind them that they must set their goals and be focused to achieve them. Tomorrow, if the time is run out and they did not make it what they wanted to, they will have them to blame rather than blaming a system and institution or parents or XYZ. So those particular scope is no more there with this generation. Putting blame on XYZ and not themselves. That is point one. And point two is today youth have plenty of distractions, be it social media, or maybe an opportunity to earn good bucks as a gig worker, because you have a lot of part-time jobs available, and therefore many of them get tempted of leaving their study and joining those workforce for getting some quick bucks. So that is another distraction. And then there are certain domain, like you are doing an engineering and suddenly somebody says, why don't you train yourself as a screenplay writer or a photographer or a wildlife photographer. Some of the crazy ideas are thrown by their friends and they sometimes lose focus what they wanted to do long term in their life. So that is another aspect wherein they go into a completely new area of learning, right? So remember, it's all about time and expertise. Hence, too many experiments do not help in shaping you as a professional. To become a real professional, we have to soak into the learning and give time to that learning to shape up. And patience is in the core of all those things. This disruption, distractions, and impatience will really destroy a soul, to be precise over here. So I advise all my students and youngsters that they should take time in career-related decisions. Being impulsive and short-sighted will be really dangerous. So take time to decide, give time in learning, and then go on to practice what you have learned. And it will really take some time before you really mature as a real professional in any field, be it lawyer, be it management, be it doctor, or anybody else. But what we are finding is the students are today's generation, they're more impatient actually, and they want to try too many things in a shorter period of time and then end up doing nothing at the end. And so that is the second point. And third point is like they should always be on the learning curve, because so many new things are adding up in the economy, in the environment. So they should be lifelong learners and must spend 10% of what they are earning on. If they do a long career life cycle, then this is the mantra I always give to all my students, that whatever you are earning, 10% you earmark and invest, because what brought them here will not take them there. Like 30 years or 25 years of their learning and they get a job, but another 25-30 years of life, if they have to shape up, then they have to constantly upgrade their skills, learn new skills, right? And to do that, they will have to invest some money. So therefore, whatever they earn, at least 10% of them has to be earmarked for it, so that they remain on a lifelong learners. Because today technology is changing and so are the job profiles. So they need to be ahead to remain relevant, vibrant, and excellent. And that will happen only when they are learning every day. So this is what this three specific suggestions I give to all the students and graduates, those who come to my campus. Yeah.
Well, that's a very insightful message to the current youngsters. So yeah, thank you very much, sir. Like we came to know many more things from Vishwa Vishwani from you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Rohit, it was pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Same here, sir. Thank you.